Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Narco Terror! It's not as interesting as it might sound, as much as I would like to tell you otherwise. It's an exciting sounding name, really, when you think about it. Narco Terror! I don't think there's really any way to say it without sounding impassioned in some way. Unfortunately, in this case, it would be for all the wrong reasons. What is it? It's a twin-stick shooter. It's done by a developer called Rubicon. What have they done before? Not a damn thing. Apparently they consist of a few people from 505. As you can pretty clearly tell, this is an Xbox Live port. Everything is always set up in this standard way. Help and options, achievements, leaderboards, they're always aligned in exactly the same way. Thankfully, you do have mouse control in the menus, which is always nice. And you've always got the how to play menu and so on and so forth. Options are few and far between. That's it for video. And you might think, oh, well, you know, judging by the font, it must be some kind of retro game in terms of its graphic style. Nope! No, it isn't. And usually I'll be alright with there being a lack of options, except for the fact that this game at times actually manages to tank my frickin' Titans, and it certainly does not look good enough to justify that. There's some very, very clear issues with the optimization. Thankfully, you can rebind the keys, which is always good. Use keyboard and mouse or gamepad. I will use keyboard and mouse for this because I'm on a PC. I might end up switching halfway through. I don't know. We'll see. I'll show you why in a minute. Okay. Single multiplayer, basically it's just straight up two-player co-op. There's no real functionality at all other than the ability to revive your teammates, so you're basically playing the same game. And apparently it has 12 missions. Exciting 80s missions. Yeah, let's see about that. Alright. There's a little bit into the game, not too much. So let's get into some Narco Terror. Welcome to Narco Terror. This is what you do. There we go. Well, you've pretty much seen the game. Bye, guys. You might be noticing that my character's moving in a really weird way. Yeah, he actually really is, isn't he? So, the reason for that is that if you don't do that, some very strange things happen. Alright, I was holding down the button there. You're like, why are you doing that? Well, let me just get rid of these guys. So this is what happens when you don't hold down the button. I'm fabulous! The controls go ballistic! It is designed to be played while holding the button down, yeah? If you don't hold the button down, the game goes berserk for no apparent reason whatsoever. When you do hold the button down, the control scheme kind of changes, which is really strange. Like right now, I'm holding the S button. Generally, that would be for backwards. Nope. Nope. Not in this case. Not in this case whatsoever. I have a feeling it was their way of emulating the twin-stick style, but this has been done before on keyboard and mouse, and not in any way as crazy a manner. The way that it does it in this game is absolutely bizarre, and of course, as you can see, if you click the button, the game goes nuts. Not to mention the fact that if you try and click it in a... yeah, this is what happens. Yeah, you've got to hold that button down. This is not a good way to do twin sticks on a PC. At all. And I would be accepting of the idea if other games had done it better. Lots of other games. They seem to get the idea, but this seems like they thought, right, well, you know, we're going to port it. You know, we've got it on 360, so we're going to port it, and this is the way we're going to do it. By making it control horribly. It's just not remotely helpful. It's just this bizarre situation, really, where as soon as you hold that button down, your movement control scheme changes entirely. So there's no consistency there. And if it was just that, maybe, just maybe, I would have accepted that, but it's even more strange. Alright, so I've got grenades in this game. So you can imagine, what do you do with a grenade? Well, you probably aim in the direction that you want to shoot, and you throw the grenade, right? So we'll just aim in this direction. Nope. Doesn't work that way, because while you do have a mouse cursor, the game basically doesn't recognize that you have a mouse cursor. So, no, actually throwing in that direction is not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. So the only real way to reliably throw a grenade is to hold that button down, do your kind of strafey thing, and then toss. Which is utterly unintuitive. It's really not helpful at all. Aside from that, if you can get over those aspects of the game, then really it becomes a bog-standard twin-stick. There are 4 weapons available. The actual page for the game boasts that you can upgrade and customize your weapons. You really can't. The only customization there is are a bunch of ammo pickups, which are of limited amount, which is kind of silly considering that the game encourages you to hold the button down consistently. Like, that's really the last thing you'd honestly want. It's a very, very strange thing to do indeed. There are 4 weapons: the pistol, the shotgun, an assault rifle, and a minigun, and that's it. The upgrades seem to just be fairly generic. Like, if I want to upgrade something, I think I can do that now. Do I have enough cash? Yeah, I might have to... There you go. Let's upgrade that. Clicking doesn't do anything. I wonder how you... There, you hit the space bar instead of clicking. Why even have the mouse there in the first place, then, I wonder? I mean, the thing has... That seems to have put a laser sight on it and increased its fire speed by the looks of it. Which, of course, makes the whole thing look even more damn ridiculous. God, I'm in a rave party. It's wonderful. Look at this. When you actually do the whole clicking thing. You know, but again, it's something you can kind of get used to. Unfortunately, the upgrades are very, very linear, and there is no actual weapon customization whatsoever, as far as I can tell. The menu, the weapons upgrade menu, is just a case of you hold down Q, and then you press the spacebar on the thing you want to upgrade, and it linearly upgrades it. If I want to use some other ammo, I could do that as well, assuming that I actually had the numbers for it, but I've run out of all of my ammo types, so it doesn't really matter. Now, frankly, this is kind of it. Oh, well, there we go. Cutscenes. Here we go. I've got to say, the game is usually fairly polite in the sense that... Really? In the sense that it doesn't interrupt you too much with cutscenes. You get into the game in about 3 seconds by punching your way through a helicopter window and then immediately start shooting people. I can actually kind of respect that, because at least this game's not trying to be anything else. What it is a really bad twin stick. Like, I don't think there's really a question about that. It was badly ported to PC, it controls awfully, and it has very few redeeming features. There are a lot of twin sticks, and I don't think you really get to use the throwback term as a marketing ploy when there are plenty of other games that do exactly the same thing as you do. If I want to play a twin stick, I will, on PC anyway, I'll play Renegade Ops because it's very clearly the best one, at least as far as I'm concerned, but there are plenty more where that came from, so it's not really too much of a selling point to me. If you boil it down to the gameplay elements, also bog standard, but relatively fun simply because of how ridiculous a lot of the stuff is. The game benefits from having a lot of destructible stuff in the environment, and the ability to blow that up for score and also have it explode and destroy half the enemies on the screen and possibly you in the process is a reasonably fun thing to do. Grenades in this game, even though they control horribly, also happen to at least blow up half the screen as you throw them, which, let's be honest, is kind of fun. There's a melee system in the game as well, but since you have infinite ammo, there is absolutely no good reason at all to use it, and you can't upgrade it in any way, so it's completely superfluous and just gets you shot, so I have no idea why it's even there. It mostly seems to be a score attack game for the most part. You kill stuff and you build up a combo. It just gives you score. It doesn't benefit you in any way, shape, or form. Now, what, as far as I'm concerned, the game really lacks is a bunch of pickups. I think that if you're going to go silly with what is basically Robotron, let's be fair here, then give me a bunch of pickups. It gives me grenades and 4 different ammo types that I can use, and that's kind of about it. I mean, that's not really that impressive, let's be honest. I think you could have done an awful lot more. The ammo pickups are okay, but you do tend to burn through them fairly quickly, and since the game also encourages you to hold the button down, you're not going to be all that accurate with them either. Time to switch to shotgun, I think. At least the game is reasonably challenging from time to time. Oh, there we go. Alright, so this is apparently the armor-piercing shotgun, which seems to do a fairly reasonable job of things. I think the problem I've got with the game is just that it's so completely uninspired, and it's really, really tired material in every way, and I don't think you get to pull a throwback on that. There are twin-stick shooters coming out every month at this point. The subject matter isn't really relevant. It's like, oh, it's an 80s. Is it? I mean, this is just every modern military shooter ever, so who cares? I don't. The game definitely doesn't even make an effort to make you care about it, which is fine. Because again, it's not professing to be a particularly good piece of art, but I think the game's just got way too much wrong with it and completely lacks any semblance of interesting vision to recommend to anyone. But saying that, I don't want to fully condemn it because the core gameplay of it, as stupid as it happens to be, is from time to time reasonably enjoyable. You know, let's try and look at the positives of it. Well, I certainly wouldn't look at the sound effects as the positives, but the shotgun animation, yeah? A lot of nice sparks flying all over the place. The weapons feel... No, actually, that's not true. I'm really trying to dig into it and find out, is it good? The weapons kind of feel a little bit powerful at times, but it depends on it. The shotgun doesn't sound good. The pistol sounds like a tennis ball. One of those automatic tennis ball shooty machine thingies. I don't know what they are. Tennis ball dispensers? Yeah, whatever the case. That's what it sounds like, which is definitely not impressive by any stretch of the imagination. The shotgun's pretty good just because I think it's got a large amount of AoE, and every now and again you'll get something like a rocket launcher. But I've only had one of those in 2 levels, which doesn't really seem to be a particularly good thing. They could have definitely done an awful lot more with that. And, where's the effort to at least spice the gameplay up with, say, a vehicle section? I got on a boat. Well, could I not fire it in the boat? No, it's just a cutscene. There's plenty of other games that allow you to get in vehicles and go and wreak a little bit of havoc with them, and that breaks up the monotony somewhat. It does have a turret section early on in the game, but as you're well aware, I don't feel that's a good way of breaking up monotony at all, because it's more monotonous than the core gameplay. That's not what you're supposed to be doing! God, why interrupt the core gameplay for something that isn't as interesting? You're supposed to interrupt it for something that's more interesting, but doesn't outstay its welcome, That's kind of the point there. Oh god, do not stop and then throw your grenades. It does not work. You've got to throw it while repeatedly firing. So, the only kind of compliment that I can really come up with is that at least the core gameplay is serviceable. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but every now and again there's fun moments where a bunch of stuff explodes on the screen. If that's really all you're looking for, then you should still get Renegade Ops, because it's still a way better game than this. At least it's not the Expendables 2. That's a start. But it is also a $10 game. Well, I've told you this 1,000 times, though. There's plenty of other really good $10 games, like Renegade Ops. God, I should be getting paid for just promoting and pimping that game. It is damn good, though, and that's what you would expect from Avalanche. So this is a genre where the standards, I feel, are fairly low. And it doesn't really take much to kind of get on the level of the genre. And I don't think this game really even attains that level, honestly. Come on, really? I think you can do better than this. If this is going to be this is your game to kind of get your name on the board. No. This was not an ideal solution for you, was it? This was not a good idea, and it was not particularly well done either. So, I'm afraid, even for $10, I'm gonna have to turn around and say, guys, I'm sorry, but Narco Terror is just not a very good game, by any stretch of the imagination. But at least it sorta works. And hell, if you have a gamepad, the controls are less stupid. That helps. I think there are a few devs that need a couple of lessons in how twin stick is actually supposed to work on a keyboard and mouse. It's not as hard as it seems. There you go, folks. A look at Narco Terror. Currently available on Steam as well as Xbox 360. My name's been TotalBiscuit. Thank you very much for what... Oh, come on, really? I'll see you next time.